I hate to say this, but this video from everybody was inevitable. Good evening, Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV. Just reacting to a bit of news. It's official. The clubs are coming out. They're all making their stands. They're all making their stances. Officially, they've all become founder members of a European Super League. That's Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Tottenham. Did I say Tottenham? Arsenal, Man City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Tottenham, along with some of the European Super clubs like Real Madrid, Barcelona. No German clubs though, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter already. The reaction tonight is a big no, and I'll tell you why it's a big no from supporters. Because as I think the coronavirus pandemic, I'll read you some statements earlier, has accelerated this decision, to be quite honest, because they are starting to realise we actually don't need the fans here anymore. They think that the fans are irrelevant. I doubt a single fan has been questioned. I doubt there's any sort of market research. And I think you've seen Gary Neville's statement earlier. It's just all blatant greed. It's a monopolisation of competition. They don't want competition anymore. They want to be handed this on a plate. Let me just read you the statement. I think it's a blanket statement. I've read Liverpool's one. I've read Arsenal's one. Let's read Chelsea's one, our opponents this week, by the way. Chelsea FC has today joined 11 of Europe's leading clubs in forming a new midweek competition, the European Super League. A joint statement released by all 12 founding clubs is below. Further information will be provided in due course. We look forward to working with all the key stakeholders, particularly our supporters, as this competition develops. 12 of Europe's leading football clubs have today come together to announce they have agreed to establish a new midweek competition, a Super League governed by its founder clubs. AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, FC Barcelona, FC Internazionale, that's in Milan for anyone, Juventus, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Real Madrid and Tottenham Hotspur have all joined as founding clubs. It is anticipated that the further 3 clubs will join ahead of the inaugural season, which is intended to commence as soon as practicable. I'm hearing it's August. Going forward, the founding clubs look forward to holding discussions, blah, 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 blah. And I see in Liverpool ones, it goes on and on. In an August start with clubs participating in 2 groups of 10, playing home and away fixtures. Midweek fixtures will participating clubs continue to compete with their respective national leagues. We don't want you here anymore, by the way. 20 participating clubs with 15 founder clubs and a qualifying mechanism for a further 5. So basically, they want 15 clubs in there week in, week out, which absolutely makes a fucking mockery of this season, by the way. All that hard work that West Ham and Leicester and teams like that, Everton, have got putting in these, you know, the fall of Liverpool, the demise of Arsenal, the failings of Tottenham, completely wiped out the window because they just think, oh no, we're too good not to be in it. We're going to just go in something anyway. They're going to make their own competition. The Glazers are all over it. The American owners from the American owners from Liverpool are all over it. Tottenham are all over it. Surprise, surprise. Manchester City, which I am very surprised about, are all over it. An absolute fuck you to every single fan in this country. And to be quite honest with you, if I was West Ham United, I know there's a lot of talk about suspending them and docking points and, you know, giving them, you know, nonsense and relegations and all that sort of stuff. They've got to be honest with you, it's rebellious, isn't it? It's rebellious. It's stabbing your competition in the back. They've just decided they're going to do this. No discussions, no nothing. They're not going to be participating in the Champions League, I would imagine. So everything it makes an absolute mockery out of the competition that we're having at the moment. As I said, big fuck you to fans. They don't want to consult fans. They're killing football. They're killing football as we know it. These 15 clubs. And if I was their respective leagues, I'd chuck the fuckers out. I wouldn't let them compete in anything. And if I was West Ham, our opponents, refuse to play them. Refuse to play them because the very thing that we're fighting for this weekend, that Champions League spot, that chance to compete with the elite of Europe, they're taking it away from us. They're taking it away from anybody. They're taking it away from Leicester. They're taking it away from anybody that wants to compete at that top level, monopolising it, making it. The 15 founding members, by the way, I read on Liverpool's one. I don't know whether it says it in this one, but it did say. Oh, here we go. In exchange for their founding clubs will receive an amount of £3.5 billion or euros solely to support their infrastructure, investment plans, and to offset the impact of the COVID pandemic. £3.5 billion for signing up for this shit. I don't know what that works out per club. A lot of money though. They'll all receive it. Gary Neville said it earlier. It's pure greed. Pure greed. And I don't know a fan, not one fan, that is behind any of this shit, to be quite honest with you. Fan power is huge in football. I'm not disappointed. I'm very happy with what Gary Neville said earlier on. But the fact of the matter is this, and this is it gets down to the nub of it. These clubs feel that they've outgrown this league. It was a National Football League 20 odd years ago when the Premier League first started, nearly 30 years ago now. It relied on fans. It was a working class sport. Sky are one of the reasons that these clubs have all of a sudden decided that they're too big, that they want to form their own competition, that their earning potentials, they don't want to share it amongst clubs anymore. Real Madrid and Barcelona have been doing this for fucking years in Liga. They don't want to share their revenue with anyone. They don't. They think they've got a God-given right to be competing at the top of this league without earning it. Because that's what the European competition is about. It's about your domestic season and earning a right to compete with the best. The Champions League has been widely ridiculed anyway because, of places like fourth spot and things going in it. But it is what it is. They want to squeeze as many of these big teams in it as they can. The likes of Leicester and West Ham and people like that compete in it. Why teams like Liverpool and Tottenham and Arsenal, linger around the middle of the table. It's not good for their brand. It's not good for their brand. It's not good for Arsenal's brand not being in it. It's not good for the likes of Manchester United who are not in it. They're in the Europa League, or Tottenham to not be in it. They want to make sure they're in it. They want to make sure they're at the top. And not only do they want to do that, they want to kill the domestic league as it is. But they still want to compete in it with all this extra money, with all this extra infrastructure, just monopolising that top of the league. They'll be the top 2, 3, 6 clubs with all this extra money, all this extra income, all this extra exposure in this European Super League. It's down to fans now. It's down to fans. I'll be fair. I've got friends that support these big clubs. The boys at Redmen TV are big friends of mine. The boys at Arsenal Fan TV are big friends of mine. If any of them cover this, I can't back that. I can't back that. I think we might fall out over it. I know that they won't. But if they back it or cover it, I don't think I can back it because them clubs, them tip 6 clubs, fuck Chelsea and Tottenham. I've got no friends over there. But these top 6 clubs are trying to kill everything about this game. They're trying to make a mockery of this league. They think they're bigger than the whole of the infrastructure. So teams like Norwich and stuff, Leicester winning a league a couple of years ago, getting into the Champions League under this current under this current regime, they would have no fucking place to build. They've built into a wonderful team, a wonderful squad, a team that are doing things the right way. And the teams like Tottenham, who the fuck are Tottenham to turn around? They won some European Cups in the 60s. Who the fuck are they to turn around to anyone and say, yeah, we're going to be one of these big six clubs? They're literally naming themselves as big six clubs. Everton are a bigger club than fucking Tottenham. Believe me. I won't have them in it next year, and I think that's harsh. But any fan of these clubs do not want their clubs to drop out of English competition, because and this is where the problem lies, is that what do you do with these fans? They're not doing anything. They're not punishing. I'll stand behind every fan of every club, including Tottenham, Arsenal, and everything else that obviously opposes, because you're getting stabbed in the back more than probably we're getting stabbed in the back, because they don't give a shit about what you think. They expect you to be forking out these plane tickets and these travels for away games to these massive European competitions without earning it. And that's what it comes down to. You need to earn your place in anything, not franchise it. And this is the model that we're heading towards. There is, obviously, I mentioned this earlier, there's no German teams involved. The reason that there's no German teams involved is because there's fans involved in German football. Fans run 51%. They respect their fans. They get some of the cheapest football for the top level, for the top tier, from any country. There's a reason that German teams have not been named yet. Look, if there's one or two, maybe Red Bull, because they're not German owned. German fan owned. They could take the plunge. I just feel like it's dying. It's dying, and I thought COVID would remind a lot of clubs the importance of fans. But I think COVID has just reminded a lot of clubs that they don't need fans. And what you need to do, and it's going to be difficult, and it's difficult and hard, because, I'm saying about, my friends at the Red Men and my friends at Arsenal Fan TV, it's their fucking job at the end of the day. It's their livelihood. No coverage. No job. This is not my job yet. But I can't back any fan that backs something like that. I can't. I will stand behind any fan. And as football fans, if you want us to stop going to Premier League games, I'll back it. I don't know what it's got to do with the Premier League. I'm sure more details will come out and it'll come more clear tomorrow. But you're not invited to, you're not welcome in the league anymore. I think as a club, they want to fuck this competition as it is now. As I said, West Ham are playing Chelsea's. Well, fuck them. Don't play them. Don't play them. Just leave it. The competition's, they're killing the competition. They're killing it as we know it. They've decided that they're going to play in a different competition next year and abandon the one that we're all fighting so hard to fucking be in. Don't play them. Just fuck them. Give them the points. I'm not interested in it anymore. I think that would be more of a statement from clubs like us, And don't get me wrong, my club's just as greedy as any other fucking club. If they had the chance, they'd probably be in it as well, and I'd be having the same conversations. But any fan, and I think every fan across the league tonight, any fan that loves football and wants to cling on to any reminiscence of football will back fans. I'll back Tottenham fans, I'll back Arsenal fans, I'll back any fan that opposes this shit. Because your clubs tonight have not only let you down, but they've let everybody down in the country. And I've got some friends and I've got some enemies in these clubs, and I wouldn't wish this upon anybody, because the main focus at the minute, and I think it goes from the top of this game to the very bottom, is you're not fucking welcome here anymore. You think you're too big for us all. Fuck off. Go to your Super League. Don't bother coming back. And if them fans, then at the end of the day, it's the fans that give these clubs the power. It's the fans watching the football. If no one watches, they become Sunday League teams in a park. And that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. Don't watch them. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it on the telly. None of that shit. In fact, sabotage it. Because this is a kick in the teeth to everybody. But most of all, it's a kick in the teeth to the fans. And Gary Neville talking about Sky and all that sort of stuff. I told you that they're the one that they're the people responsible for creating these beasts. You know, they're all sitting there talking about like they're outraged at the minute. They was trying to charge fans 15 quid a game during a pandemic because, you know, because they could. They're the ones been traipsing my arse up and down the fucking country on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday nights because it's better off for the way they want to cover the games. They don't care about fans. They care about a story. And do you honestly think if this Europa Super League takes off, or whatever the fuck they want to call it, the Super League takes off, do you think they won't be bidding for the rights? Of course they fucking will. They're a business as well. As I said before, I said on my Twitter, you know, they're the ones that made these. With them and their fucking money are the one that made this fucking game such a mercenary sport that don't give a shit about any of us. And they've been at the forefront of it. Sky, they've been at the forefront of it. And I don't blame Gary Neville, I don't blame Mika Richards, I don't blame Roy Keane, obviously they've got jobs to do. But the people that run them fucking organisations are at the forefront of it. They've made these beasts, they've made these monsters. You can't make a Frankenstein's monster into the fucking beast they are and then have the ump when they start attacking you. That's the nature of it, you know. You make them. You make these fuck-ass decisions over the years, and then these clubs are starting to take the piss out of us and they're taking the piss out of you. And it's about time. I don't want these fucking clubs, you know. Liverpool, Arsenal fans, you know, Manchester United fans, go and support someone else. I know it's a fucking tough thing to say, or form your own formation of a club. You don't want to be involved in this shit anymore. You don't deserve this shit. Absolutely dumbfounded tonight with the decisions. Absolutely dumbfounded. I won't be watching. Well, I'll say that I will watch it. I watch West Ham anytime. But if West Ham, I might not watch the Chelsea game. Depends how I feel tomorrow, I suppose. Got a weekend to think about it. I don't think we should play him. I think the league needs to come down tomorrow morning. All these statements are coming out like 20 minutes ago, midnight. This season ain't even finished yet, man. We're fucking and they're going to be the ones trying to attract away your best players out your clubs to go and play in these fucking stupid Super Leagues. I want to see the punishments over the next couple of days, and I want to see them severe and harsh. Points deductions. Chuck them, relegate the fuckers if you have to. Relegate them back to the bottom of the fucking bottom of the leagues. It's hard on the fans, man. It's hard on the fans. But if fans have got any sort of bollocks about them, and I know they have, they'll accept that, and they'll accept the punishment. I think we should. I honestly think, you know, punishment needs to be hard over the next few days, and I honestly think don't bother playing in the Chelsea game next week. There's no point. They've already decided what they're going to do. Chelsea have already decided that they're better than West Ham regardless of the result. Fuck them. I can't be arsed with it. I can't be arsed with it. I can't be arsed with people just killing the sport that I love. I just can't be arsed with it anymore. Do the right thing. Everybody, fans, league, everybody, do the right thing. Fuck the Super League. Come on, you guys.